Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon. No, that's you, Scott. Yeah, that's you.
I have ear monitors on.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. There's got to be some reason I'm getting this feedback. Okay. Yeah, see, that's you, Scott, because I muted you, and now I don't have the feedback. That's you. But that's okay for right now. Just try to fix it. Good morning, everybody. Thank y'all for joining the live stream again. A shout out to the NTZ crew. I see Jacob Tanjay on here. I don't know if Michael beat your life. Since he's been back in the Philippines, he doesn't really join us, but I hope he can join us today. Any new viewers and subscribers that this is their first time joining the live stream, welcome. Any old heads, I see Roger Walker on here, Gerald Wilkins. Thank y'all so much for all your support. I really appreciate it. And anybody that's catching this on replay, we got the panel today, and our subject is, why do men fail in relationships and marriage? And we're going to talk about that today. I did ask a couple of more people to join us. I don't know if they're going to join us, but before we get started, let me have my panel introduce themselves. Go ahead. I'll start with you, Maxwell.
I'm Mr. Maxwell, Marcus Maxwell from Chicago.
And what's your connection? Have you been to the Philippines before, Marcus?
I have been to the Philippines.
And are you married? Are you in a relationship?
Yeah, I am. You can say that.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining us, man. We'll get your input. Have Mr. Scott Fortune of Scott Fortune International. What's up, Scott?
Hey, Calvin. Thanks for having me on. My name is Scott Fortune. I'm originally from Columbus, Ohio. Just wrapped up a 32-year career with the U.S. Army at Fort Bragg with the Special Operations Command. Retired in 2020, and upon retiring, relocated to Camiguin Island, Philippines. So I'm here with my wife. We're doing some pretty cool things out here on the island.
Well, good, man. So a lot of what you experience as far as being in the service and everything is going to kind of fit into this discussion today. I do want to say that the peso is 56.62. I know you're over here, Scott. Are you enjoying that exchange rate so far?
We definitely love the exchange rate. No doubt about it.
Yeah, right now it's really, really good. Hey, Miss Gertrude Fermiza, she's one of our winners of the spin wheel. She says, hi, guys. It's a rainy day here in the Philippines. Keep safe, everyone. God bless. Yeah, so, of course, the topic is, why do men fail in relationships and marriages? And I think this is a great subject. 92% of my viewers are men. And I guess you just got to kind of look yourself in the mirror and wonder, why have I had so many relationships? Everybody wants a good, healthy relationship. There's a lot of attractive single women out there. So why are so many men single or unhappy in their relationships? A lot of it has to do with societal expectations. I know by you being in the Army and even you, Maxwell, from the mean streets of Chicago, y'all know that, men are supposed to be strong and really don't show any emotion. Certainly not any vulnerability. That's considered a weakness. And they say that really hurts us in the long run in relationships, because we're unable to really um, identify and explain our feelings. You're not supposed to cry and all of that stuff, right? And how many, is this your first marriage, Scott?
No, it's not.
Do you have
No.
any input on why men fail in relationships in marriage?
Calvin, I'm going to tell you, and there's there's a gamut of reasons why men fell in relationships, but I'll just speak for myself. There's been times I've brought excess baggage into a situation that led to marriage, but I never resolved some of that. And, come to find out that excess baggage was a little bit too much for the new relationship, unresolved issues with past, and then carrying that into the new relationship. And it put a wedge in the relationship.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I got on here. Our past has a lot to do with our inability to maintain a healthy relationship, because I was just counting. Yeah, I've been married twice, once for 18 years, once for 10 years. I'm 60 years old. I've had 10 serious relationships. Is that abnormal? Or I was reading in an article, they said that breakups are a part of the human experience. So, I don't know. How many relationships have you had, Marcus, that you can remember?
That I can remember, relationships that I consider relationships.
Yeah, where there was feelings involved, where you had feelings for your partner.
I can probably count on one hand, but I would like to address that one question that you asked about why relationships fail and marriages fail. According to statistics, 80% of marriages divorces are filed by women. So why would 80% of divorces be filed by women? So that makes you think, what really does a man have to gain from being married? Or could you say, does a woman have more to gain? She wake up one day and decides she's tired of being married and she wants to file for divorce. She gets half, she automatically gets the kids, she gets alimony. I mean, what's in it for the man?
Yeah, we understand that, Marcus. We're just saying, why does the marriage fail? Because, okay, study after study after study has been done that proves that the man is responsible, meaning not that it's our fault, but women look to the man. And a lot of times it has to do with how she sees you in her eyes. Is it the same? Has it changed? That sort of thing. But we're just talking about, why did your relationships fail? Do you have any uh, explanation for that? Why aren't you in? Uh, you know, how old are you, by the way?
I'm 55.
Okay, so I'm 60. How old are you, Scott?
53.
Yeah, so I'm asking, why aren't we in 25, 30-year relationship? Have you ever been in that situation before, Marcus?
Yeah, I mean, I was married before, and I tried to make my marriage work. But when it's difficult, let me see how can I put this. When you're dealing with, a lot of times the advantages are for women. In my particular situation, I'm not going to say it's all her fault. I did take some of the blame. I'm talking like this because I hear a little bit of an echo, but I would say when it came to my particular marriage, it failed because partly because of me, probably be
Yeah, but I'm just saying, why do you think it? What did you do? I mean, say for instance, okay, a lot of times, me, I found myself sabotaging. I've sabotaged some of our relationships,
I
and
see.
I don't know where that comes from. It's like when things are going really, really well, and you're just like, oh, I don't know if it's I can't explain it, but sometimes I just sabotage it, man. I go and do something stupid, and it's over. That's just one of the reasons. I mean, there's so many, but I was saying, a lot of times we have unrealistic expectations, or our expectations are so high that the woman could never meet our expectations. And another thing that I know is a lot of us really don't marry the woman of our choice. See, a lot of men, we're afraid to approach beautiful women and women who we are really attracted to. So we continue on this road to approaching women that we're really not attracted to. Okay. So she ends up saying, yeah, we end up having a relationship, get married, and it doesn't work because she's not really the one that we want. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
A lot of times, sometimes the average man don't really have them to just approach beautiful women. That's just what it is. And a lot of times, some men are intimidated by beautiful women. Or it could be a man don't want, might be afraid to be rejected by that woman.
Well, see, that's one of the reasons too. They said the fear of rejection. So they're talking about communication. We have communication problems, but they talk about gender stereotypes too. A man is supposed to act a certain way, and we got the pressure to be in charge. We got to make all the important decisions. We have to be the breadwinner. When in reality, that's not true. These are just gender stereotypes that are thrown on us. Because I know today in 2023, a lot of women are earning more than their husbands. Okay, and they may be better decision makers. Okay, but we're saddled with that stereotype. It puts a lot of pressure on guys. And, eventually pressure bursts pipes, especially when you holding in your feelings. You don't really let the woman know what you're really feeling. You don't want to cry. You don't want to show any type of vulnerability or weakness. And eventually that's going to come out in some other kind of way. Usually, according to psychologists, it's aggression. But hey, Michael Alexander, thanks for the super chat. He said, let's support the walk. Thank you, brother. Okay, Dana Milton says, some of us work so hard to be a good provider that we lose sight of what it takes to be a good husband. Yeah, see, that's what I'm just saying. It's a gender stereotype that we as men, we have to be the providers. We have to be the decision makers. And it puts a lot of pressure on some guys. We can't handle that. Yeah, hey, let's welcome. Yeah, go ahead, Scott.
Yeah, I was going to say, sometimes it's that chase that we're charlatans, we're pretenders, right? Faking it till we make it, right? Pretending like we may have more than what we got, and then accidentally slip into the relationship, and then you can't live up to what you were pretending in the front. Now you're being found out. She's sitting there thinking, something comes up and you cannot provide for whatever reason. And then that pattern of behavior, takes effect again and again and again. So you came in pretending, she bought into it. And then now you can't represent the way you were pretending that you could. And that could be a brick wall right there. They could say, you know what, I'm out of here. You're not holding up like you said you would. The rent's not paid, the car payment's not paid. My baby don't have a backpack and books and a notebook for school. You got to go. So
yeah. So W Secrets to Success blog, thanks for that super chase, says, I supported the walk of death via PayPal. Have you? Man, it's not a walk of death. I'm going to make that walk. I've done it before. Let's welcome Lee Hatcher, also known as King B Stacker to the panel.
What's
Give
up,
us a
everyone?
little background, Lee, how you ended up in the Philippines. I know you're here right now, right?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm in Ormoc City right now.
How'd you end up here, man? Why the Philippines?
Well, I started, at first I wanted to go to Thailand. I wanted to retire in Thailand. I'm disabled, so I get disability. My back is shot. I've worked 25 years on the books, 15 years off the books. Hold on, let me stop.
Yeah.
No, maybe not 15 years, but 10 years off the books for my dad's company. I started watching, somehow the algorithm suggested you about 3 years ago. I started watching your videos and I started, just thinking, man, maybe the Philippines is where I should go. And started watching other vloggers and yeah, I knew I wanted to come here. And so I was in one of your lives, and You Dirty Puppy befriended me and told me his Facebook page. He introduced me to a couple Filipinos. I chatted with this one girl for a while, and she just wasn't about being in a relationship, which was fine. Finally, she told me she said, I think you should start talking to other women. I said, oh, okay. So I gave her about a week to think about that one. And then about after that, I realized that she just didn't want to be in a relationship.
Sorry.
So I was talking to 2 American women, and I was talking to about 8 or 9 Filipinos. And I met the girl I'm with now. And yeah, it just clicked. She made me laugh, made me happy,
Yeah.
So yeah.
So how's your experience been over here? People complain about the Philippines. They say it's not this, it's not that. How are you getting along over here?
I love it, man. I hate I got to go back. I got to leave it. I got to leave first week of September. But I'm just going back, handling my business, and I'm coming right back here as soon as I can.
Yeah. Now let me ask you, this isn't your first rodeo. Have you been married before?
Yeah, I was married for 16 years to a woman. We have four daughters together. She left me when I became disabled. She told me, she said,
Yeah.
I realized I could do it without you. And so she took off in the middle of the night with my kids and destroyed me.
Yeah.
Because my kids are my everything,
Yeah.
And so it took everything out of me, man. I cried myself to sleep many nights, and then I ended up getting custody of my 2 middle children, and I raised them for 6-7 years, and then I ended up getting all 4 of them towards the end.
Yeah. Well, that's good, man. I'm glad you were able to get through that. Thanks, Michael, for the super chat. He says, I fully support the walk. See, y'all putting pressure on me. They putting pressure on me, Scott. What's the longest you've ever walked in the military?
So, oh my gosh, countless miles. But just recently, as part of my retirement gift to myself, I took off and hit the Appalachian Trail. And I did over 110 miles, wrapped that up, and then got on a plane and then went south to the southern terminus, and then started hiking north from Georgia back up toward North Carolina. But countless, as an infantryman and a combat soldier in the military, I'm not even joking. I've done hundreds and hundreds of miles. But here recently, the Appalachian Trail.
Yeah, that's good. So you're bearing witness. See, I've done it before. I put it on my community page, but people, I guess they don't read. I've done it before. I've walked 80 miles, but this is 102, so it's a little bit longer. Okay, Marcus, let me ask you something. Is it okay for a man to cry? Do you think that's silly, or do you think men aren't supposed to cry, that we're supposed to be these masculine creatures and, suppress our feelings and that sort of thing? because I know if you listen to this manosphere, they buy into all of that toughness and masculinity stuff, and just a man crying, that's the worst thing you can do, according to them.
I think it would depend on the circumstance because as kids, even our parents or our mother, you fall, they tell you, get up, you a boy, shake it off. Don't cry. We're taught and groomed as from boys to hold it in, to internalize it. So in answer to your question, should a man cry? I would say, I mean, everybody got their breaking point, and you need that
Yeah.
release some type of way. I think it depends on how you do it.
Yeah, because they say, if you with your partner, if you with somebody like King B. Stacker, you said you were married for 16 years. You should be able to show your vulnerability in front of your wife. Hell, y'all been together for 16 years, but some of us, this is why our relationships fail and our marriages fail. We don't want to do it. We suppress all our feelings. The communication ain't there. So that messes with the trust issues. And then next thing you know, it's over. She leaves in the middle of the night or whatever it was. Do you see anything you did, King B. Stacker, to lead to that failed marriage, our relationship?
Oh
Or
yeah,
was it all
definitely.
her fault? Was
No,
it
no,
all her
no.
fault?
Definitely, it was both of our faults. We drifted apart, and to add to that, real men cry. Okay, we all have emotions, whether we want to show them or not. That's on us, But like like her son is 9 years old. He was crying the other day because he learned that I was going to be leaving. Right, him crying. I thought he was crying because his mama's going to be going with me for a couple of days. He was crying because I'm leaving. He had never had a dad. His dad hasn't been there. Like most Filipino men, a lot of Filipino men, they'll get a beautiful girl pregnant and then just leave. So he's never had a dad. But to speak on that, real men cry and show their emotions. Whether I'm a tough guy. I don't show my emotions to everyone, but to the people that I trust, I will show my emotions to. But
Yeah.
on my marriage, definitely, I made mistakes. As soon as I realized she was cheating, I started cheating, and that doesn't two wrongs don't make a right. Had I
Yeah.
maybe been more attentive in my marriage, maybe we'd still be together. But we drifted apart. She was young when we got together, and I was probably 4 or 5 years older than her. And I know it's kind of weird to say now. My fiance is 20 years younger than me, but these Filipinos are a whole different breed than American women, man.
Yeah. Happy man 6920. Thanks for that super sticker. Let me say that, not all Filipino men get women pregnant and run off. They don't
Right,
do it anymore. They don't do it any more than anybody else, guys, believe it or not.
right.
This might just be what's in front of you and what you're reading in the paper and all that media and stuff like that. But really, they don't, man. I know a lot of good men over the engineer that built my house. He's he's married and takes care of his kids. He didn't run off. As a matter
Right.
of
There's
fact,
good and bad. There's good and bad everywhere. You're right about that. I shouldn't
yeah. I
stereotype,
mean,
but
it's just that they don't run off any more than men in any other country run off. But Scott, what did you do to? What was it about being a man that caused your relationship to fail? This is what I'm trying to get at. It's not about, well, it's her fault, my fault. What do you think as a man, led to that breakup and that failed relationship or marriage?
Yeah, it just comes down to communication with me. I'm one of these guys. I know my temper limits. You know, I know when my meter starts to peak, and I was the guy that would always get quiet. Sometimes being quiet and clearing out that negative energy is good, and then come back to communicate. But if you let that continue on and on, And then when problems come about, you go quiet, and then there's no communication to resolve it. That's a problem, because no one feels like, hey, we've moved past this and come to some sort of conclusion to, the drama. And a lot of times I just got quiet, and that quietness, or because I didn't want to deal with it, I'd be like, you know what, I don't want to talk about it. They were compelled to speak, but I was trying to be the key holder of communication and controlling that. And it's like, nah, we're not going to talk about it. And that's not good, because now that there's a lot of pressure, a lot of resentment building up, because we men think that we're the controllers of conversation. Communication flows both ways. And when you're trying to control things and then shut that other person up because you don't have the intellect to deal with the situation, or you want to be a punk and a coward and not have that conversation, that's a problem. And they're going to look to somebody that can care for their heart a little bit better if you're not doing it, if you don't allow them to speak, if you don't apologize. So yeah, and that was a big problem with me. I'm supposed to be a man, right? Hey, I'm not apologizing. You won't apologize to me. But sometimes, you know what? It's okay to say I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And if not, you may as well go on and start packing your bags, because you're going to be heading to the door real soon.
Right. W Secrets of Success, thanks for that super chat. He said, only time a man should cry is a loss of a parent or a child, and no more than 20 seconds. Any longer than that raises questions. Well, see, this is what we're talking about. This is what is in a man's psyche. So we grow up thinking we're not supposed to cry, we're not supposed to show emotion, we hold that back, but eventually it comes out, and it may cause problems later on.
If it doesn't come out in tears, it comes out in hatred or anger or a different emotion that we shouldn't be. It's okay for men to cry, and if any man says otherwise, then that's on them.
Yeah, just a few weeks ago, I was sitting in the office doing some work, and my father passed. I was in Maine on the 4th of January 4th of 2020, getting ready to do a speaking engagement on the 5th. And the winning through crisis was the topic. And my dad passed away, but just the other day, a few weeks ago, I was sitting here in the Philippines, minding my own business, and that damn Whitney Houston had to come on. I had that music playing in the back, and that song Miracle came on. I immediately thought about my dad. And I was choking. I was in here, snot was running down my nose. My wife was peeking in on me. She knew I was crying. She didn't say nothing. She didn't interfere with that energy space. And later that night, she said, I noticed you were crying. Are you okay? But she gave me my moment. But I was just reflecting on my dad. But that doggone Whitney Houston, I blame her.
Yeah. Let me ask the guys on the panel. We'll start with you, Maxwell. When you were involved in that long-distance relationship, that long-term relationship, did you ever prioritize your hobbies or your friends over the relationship? They say that's one thing that men do that causes problems in our relationships and marriages. We want to hang out with the boys a little bit too much, or we want to watch the NFL a little bit too much. So we prioritize those things over the relationship. Have you ever been guilty of that, Maxwell?
The only time I really prioritize anything over my relationship is when the communication broke down and when I was frustrated and I just kind of bagged up. That was my way of coping with the lack of communication that we had going on. So, but other than that, I prioritize my marriage. I really fought for it and tried, but.
So you saying it was her fault? What was it as a man that you think caused that breakup or caused her to back away from you? Was she buying into the societal expectation? Were you showing weakness? Were you showing vulnerability? What was it? We're trying to get to the root of the cause of why we have so many relationships, man? Is that just a part of the human experience, or is it something we can fix? Because I'm really tired of jumping from woman to woman, to be honest with you. I want to know, what can I do? Is it something I have to do to stop that? So this is what we're trying to get to today. We're not really placing any blame.
That's
Calvin.
a two-way street. Both people have to be committed. It have to be, both people would have to be solidly committed to that relationship no matter what. If only one person is committed, it's not going to work. If just the woman is committed, it's not going to work. If just the man is committed, it's not going to work. So that's
Big
that's
chief.
the core of these breakups. Both people not being committed no matter what. We're going to work this out. We're going to figure it out. We're going to talk it out until we come to some type of middle ground. Because when a man and a woman come together, they come from two different worlds. The way she was raised, the way you were raised, and y'all bringing that together. So you got to figure out how to make it work. It's going to be times where y'all not going to be happy. You might feel like you don't love her. She feel like she don't love you, but y'all have that core that this is what we got. This is what we're going to stick with, and we're going to make it work.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm just saying that, okay, just like you said men and women come from different worlds, but believe it or not, we're more similar than we are different. And this is what society teaches us what's masculine and what's feminine. Okay, and then, men, like I said, we're supposed to be the head of the house. Well, who says that? Maybe us thinking that has something to do. Maybe it offends your wife, thinking, he thinks he's the boss. You don't control me. I'm saying, what is it as men that causes us to fail in relationships? Is it all this foolishness? Okay, like, answer this, Lee, because I know you from the country and you like to go fishing and hunting and stuff. Did you ever put that over your marriage?
No, I put my nose to the grindstone. I went to work every day. I was a cabinet installer, wood installer, broke my back earning for my family. Later on, she thought I was cheating, which I wasn't. And I was delivering pizzas at night, and I'd go out with my friends after work and go kayaking and smoking some weed and hanging out. And then I'd come home, but she would always listen. My wife was crazy. I come home, the house would be dark. I turn the light on. She's sitting up on the couch. I'm like, what are you doing sitting in the dark? She would just be stewing, thinking I'm out doing something bad, and I wasn't, So, yeah, I never really prioritized anything over my family or my marriage, but why it broke down was lack of communication. You got to communicate, and that's what I told my fiance now.
Yeah, I think y'all missing what I'm trying to say. Okay, we know that relationships mess up. We know, why relationships mess up. But we're saying as men, what is it as men that leads to that? Why do we fail? What is it? Because right now it's difficult to be a man in today's society. Okay, it's all these expectations and stereotypes and everything. It's real difficult. It shouldn't be that difficult. Okay, so another common stereotype is we're the ones who's supposed to make the initiative when we're asking a woman out on a date or offering sex or something like that. Is that something that gets in the way of a relationship? Like I said, we're always supposed to be in charge. Okay, say for instance, as a man, your testosterone is acting up and you go in there and you want to have sex with your wife and she says, no, not tonight. Okay, now how does that make you feel? How do you react from that? Do you get mad and then next thing you know, oh yeah, you don't want to give me sex? And that starts an argument.
That starts the vicious circle of death, Calvin. And what I mean by that is you're feeling like doing a little chicky boom boom. You run over there, you know, and hey, can we get our little freak on real quick? No, I'm not feeling it. So you don't feel the love is there because she's not going to give you a little chicky boom boom. So now you feel disrespected. So then you disrespect her. So she withholds love from you. And then when she withholds love from you, you continue to disrespect her. And that vicious cycle keeps going round and round and round until somebody breaks it and until you bring some chivalry back into the relationship. You're just going to be in that circle of death, because if someone doesn't feel loved, they're not going to give respect. If someone doesn't feel respected, they're not going to give love. And they want to feel love, not just, hey, you're just not going to freak on me. And then that's it. You know, they want to be held, caressed, a little foreplay, what have you, wine and dine, you know, all that stuff. So
appreciation is the key, man. You have to feel appreciated as a man, or you don't want to do nothing for your lady. You know?
Right. Yeah, we're not saying that. We're saying, but what is it as a man that messes up our relationships, man? You know, how many relationships have you had, King B Stacker? Y'all missing the point I'm trying to make. You know, it's like we're as men, we're doing certain things because of our expectations, of our stereotypes that society has put on us. We act a certain way. Okay. And a lot of times we have to reverse some of that stuff, heal it, in order for our relationships to start working. Because if not, we're, like Scott said, we're bringing that same garbage and that same baggage into the new relationship. And so it's not going to work either. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Always looking on the other side of the fence for greener grass. If we just water grass where we are. Does
the man have to be in charge of the house? Do we have to be the breadwinner? Yes. And if you think that, so what happens when your woman makes more money than you then? Does that cause you a problem?
No.
If a man is intimidated.
That helps. The man needs to make the ultimate decisions, though.
Well, see, that's going to cause you a problem, because women don't think like that nowadays.
You value your queen's opinion, but the king makes the ultimate decisions.
Yeah.
Well, we lost everybody. I'm back. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, see, this is what I'm talking about. When you come into a relationship like, well, the man, we have to have the final say, and, you know, we have to be the decision maker. What if the woman's a better decision maker than you?
That's why you take everything she says into account. Your queen is your queen, man. Hey, look, Calvin, I hate to even bring another vlogger, but I know that your stance on other Filipino vloggers, and I know you've probably heard this guy a million times, right? But I've been reading this book. It's called The King's Chronicles. It's how to escape the wrath of American women and live like a king. And I'll give you this copy. I get another one. But I'm telling you, man, it's all right.
But is that playing into the problems that we're having as men? You know, because women aren't going to, you know, take all that anymore. They're not going to say, hey, look, you know, I know just as much about taking care of a family as you do.
I mean, that's why you have to take your wife or your queen's her input. You have to, but the ultimate decision for your kingdom lies with the king, right? If the kingdom is set and everybody in the kingdom is eating and the bills are paid and the king's making the final decisions, then, you know, but obviously you're going to respect what your queen tells you.
Well, see, that's somebody else's thinking. That's somebody else's thinking. We're talking about our thinking. What were you doing before you read that book? I'm just saying, you know,
Yeah,
as
no,
a
I
man.
was letting my queen run the kingdom, which made the
Why
kingdom
about
fail.
That's not gonna work.
what? Why are relationships failing? Why do men fail in relationships and marriage? We're not pointing fingers, guys. We're trying to say, what is it about us as men? And all of us are from America, with all the societal expectations, the stereotypes, and all of that. What is it about all of that that makes our relationships fail? Because they do. I've been in 10 relationships, man. You know, I'm not going to say it's always the woman's fault. There's something going on that's causing me to fail in all these relationships. I'm not ashamed to say it. See, you know, as a recovering alcoholic, see, I got to be honest. And a lot of people can't be honest. So we'll say all this stuff that we think people want to hear us say. There's something going on. Something's not right for me to be in 10 relationships. Or the marriage failed and it wasn't just her fault, Maxwell.
But you gotta speak to that though. You give us an example and we can follow suit, because I know what
Well,
you're
that's what
saying,
I'm
but
saying. I've sabotaged relationships before,
okay.
you know, as a man. And, you know, as a man, you know, like I said, my testosterone acts up. And if a woman doesn't give it to me when I want it, then I'm going to get angry. Then that's going to start an argument. That's going to start tension in the relationship. And eventually, you know, she may hold on to that. And, you know, it just keeps like a snowball rolling down the hill. And eventually it's like, well, you know, it's going to lead into something else. And the relationship is over. You know, I'm just saying, let's just talk about this, guys. You know, it's difficult to be a man in today's society, especially when we were brought up, all of us in our 50s. How old are you, King B?
I'm about to turn 49 in October. So yeah.
Okay, you were told not to cry. Men are in charge. You know, you take the first step. So you're the one who's supposed to ask the woman out on the date and all that. Who's to say all that's the right thing to do, man?
Society.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yes, society.
See?
And see that,
Right.
and that's a problem
It's not
because
right.
we forget that women have been liberated for a long time now. So if they go out there and make more money, then it is what it is. And as a man, you should be supporting that and cheering that on, because trust me, if she wasn't the breadwinner, if she wasn't a go-getter, you'd be like, man, she don't want to do nothing. She just wants to sit around the house. But then when she does go out there and make it, you got to be supportive. You can't be a punk and feel like you're less than a man. No, you know what? That shows how strong of a man you are if you can get behind your woman if she's out there doing a little bit better financially than you. That's the thing. And when she knows, hey, you know what? My husband supports me. I mean, that's creating a good atmosphere. But if not, and you're jealous of her, there you go. It's going to end things real quick.
But Carla Will is saying that worked since the beginning of time. Men have always had led and taken the first step, but it's not working. You see so many divorces and separations and breakups, man. You know, this is what I'm saying.
Calvin, a lot of that has to do with our society over in America too. The women are put on a pedestal, like you say, don't put a Filipino on a pedestal. In America, the government puts the women on a pedestal. They have control over everything. When you get a divorce, who leaves the house? You do. Who gets the kids?
We're not talking about women. Let's not talk about the women. Let's talk about us, King B. Let's don't talk about the women.
We ain't perfect. Obviously, no relationship is perfect.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, what is it about you as a man that causes your relationship to fail? It's not just the women. You're doing something.
That's the thing.
You're doing something. Are men? Okay, let me put this out there. Let me put this out there. Are we afraid of commitments as men? Is that one of the reasons? Are men really afraid of commitments? Do we want our freedom? Do we want to come and go as we please? Because we're men. Okay, and because I'm the man of the house, I should be able to do whatever I want to do. go wherever I want to go, when I want to go. See, if you got that type of attitude, and a lot of men do, because I'm the man of the house, that's not going to work, guys. This is
But
what I'm saying. This is what I'm
but see,
trying to get at.
Yeah.
that comes with discipline. Discipline. That's a person that acts like that is a lack of discipline and a lack of consideration for your partner. And as far as
Right.
understanding the breakdown from a man's point of view, you got to understand yourself and your role, and understand your partner and your woman and what she wants and where she's coming from. Because men, we think logically. Women, they think from an emotional point of view, emotional standpoint. That's one reason a woman cannot be a leader in a house. Her opinion, like King B said, her opinion can be considered and taken in consideration. But when it comes to making rational decisions, the man is more grounded, or he should be, and he
Okay,
should be
so
more disciplined.
why did Joe?
Yeah.
Do you think that had something to do with your relationship breaking down? Maybe your wife pushed back against that and says, "Hey, I should be able to make some of the decisions. I'm smarter than him. I got better education. I earn
Yeah,
more
Great point.
money.
Yeah, great point,
What,
Calvin.
why in the world should you make all the decisions all the time?" See, this is what I'm getting at.
Great
So
point. Great
if you're
point.
carrying, so you're going to carry that, Marcus, in all of your relationships, and more than likely they're going to fail because these women, unless you meet a woman that's going to say, "Okay, I agree with you, Marcus," and more than likely, how many women you're going to have to go through before you meet one like that that's going to say, "Okay, I'm dealing with this." With Marcus making all the decisions, and the buck stops with Marcus. See, maybe that's the reason. As
That's
men,
the
this is how
problem.
we think.
Yeah.
We're expected to do that. But let me say this, I forgot. Starting September the 3rd, anybody that's people want to take their Filipino out of the country and meet them somewhere else. Well, they've got some revised international travel guidelines for outgoing Filipinos. They doing this to combat human trafficking. So it's going to make it harder for Filipinos to get out of the country. They're going to require more. They're going to ask more questions. They're going to require more documentation. So other than having a visa, like a K-1 visa, a marriage visa, something like that, it's going to make it harder. And I was reading about that today, and it's real interesting. A lot of Filipinos are pushing back on it, saying, you're messing with our right to travel, our right to privacy. But the government says, no, we're trying to protect you, because human trafficking is big over here. So I just want to put that out there. I forgot to say that because, a lot of guys say, "Hey, I want to take my woman to Thailand, or I want her to meet me. Calvin, can my woman meet me in Costa Rica? Since I can't, I'm not going to do the K-1 visa, and we're not going to get married." So I just want y'all to know that, going forward.
Yeah. Hey, Calvin, can I add something real quick?
Sure.
So time has changed. Men were the breadwinners back in the day. You can go back generations. The women were stay-at-home moms. They were homemakers. We're not in those times anymore. So the man did expect to go out there. He was expected to go out there, make the money, get dirty for the money. And because of that, a lot of the decisions made in the home really fell in his lap, but not in today's society. And if you think for a minute that you're going to dominate that relationship because you're supposed to be the head, not to tell, of course, we're supposed to be the head, not to tell, lead, right? But you better not for a minute think that you are going to be the only one making the decisions in a relationship in today's society. You and your partner have to be on one accord and communicate, talk things out, and come to decisions together. Trying to bully her or her bully you is not going to work. You're supposed to be in this thing together, communicate together, and ride out together.
Okay, now Gerald Stipock says sometimes it's not, it ain't us. See, you're missing the point of what I'm trying to say, man. You know, of course it's not always our fault. My question is, why why do so many men fail in relationships and marriages? It's not always our fault. That's not what we're saying. We're saying, what I'm saying is something like what this guy is saying. Kay Dallas is saying. This is the type of attitude that will cause your relationship to fail, because he's got this thinking in his mind, like a lot of guys today act like females and they act on emotion. So he's saying that these gender stereotypes, he's going along with the gender stereotype that men aren't supposed to show emotion. We're not supposed to show our vulnerability. We're certainly not supposed to cry. See, this is what he's saying. And you take that into a relationship, eventually it's going to fail. Eventually it's going to fail. Okay? If you take this type of attitude into a relationship, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm talking about right here, guys. Y'all see what he's saying? These are deeply ingrained beliefs, like Maxwell said. When we're little, they're pounded into our heads. You're not supposed to cry. Suck it up. You're a man. You're supposed to be tough. Okay, well, eventually we become from boys to men. And we've internalized all this stuff. We go into the relationship. We're not showing any emotion. We're not communicating with our wives. You know, oh, it's my way or the highway. I'm the man. Don't matter how much money you earn. Don't matter how much education you got. And our relationships fail. How many relationships have you had, King B. Stacker, where you fell for the woman?
Where I fell for her?
No, where you felt for her. You know, you had feelings for her.
Oh, not too many.
Well, how many?
Maybe 4.
Okay, so it was all their fault that it didn't. So nothing as a man caused those relationships to fail. You don't think? Your attitudes and everything.
My first one, I was 17. I thought, of course you think you're going to be with your 17. She was the girl next door, literally. She was cheating on me. Cheated on me with a kid I grew up with. The second one was my wife at 21. So that was 4 years later. And then I had a girl in between my wife and my now fiance, and it just didn't work out. It was like, I don't know. We dated for a couple months, and then I was just not about it, And yeah, so I ain't been in a whole lot of relationships out of my own not wanting to be in a relationship. Like I've been, besides the one girl, I've been single for 10 years. So,
does any of your attitudes get in the way of your relationships working? Or is this always her fault? She's always cheating, but you don't do anything. There's nothing about you that makes the relationship fail. Nothing about your makeup, nothing about your expectations, your beliefs, or anything that gets in the way.
Well, I'm not saying I'm a saint. That's what I'm saying, man. I definitely was, lack of communication was the biggest thing. And yeah. And once I realized she was cheating, then I went out and I started spreading my seed, So I had lost 100 pounds. I was out there getting all kinds of women looking at me. And it was after being in a relationship for 15 years, having all these women attracted to me, because I was being a dog then, so I got that dog phase out of me. But yeah, I'm not perfect, man. I'm a human. I'm flawed.
Okay, now JV says you're only explaining why the relationships are troubled. No, we're not. He said they fail because the partner is replaceable. There are so many options available. Well, no, that's not what I'm saying. Okay. But we'll let you answer it any way that y'all want to, because y'all really missing it. There's some reason why men are failing in relationships today. And it's not always the woman. Maybe it is our attitudes that we're bringing into the relationship. Like Scott said, they're old, they're outdated. Maybe they need to be changed. You know, just because it worked back in 1950 doesn't mean it's going to work in 2023. There's a reason why we've had so many relationships. It's not always the woman's fault. It's something that we've internalized inside of us. We're stoic. We're supposed to be strong. We're not supposed to show any emotion. Okay? We're not supposed to show any vulnerability or any weakness. That's bullshit, man. That we're not robots, guys. This is what I'm trying to get at. Maybe if we change some of these beliefs, okay, I learned to change them, maybe our relationships will work out sometimes, you know. But Marcus said he's going to make the final decision in his household. So I'm just saying good luck with that. Maybe that's why your relationships haven't worked. Maybe that's why they failed. I don't know. I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying, I'm asking y'all, what do you think that we as men are doing wrong that caused us to have so many relationships? How many relationships have you had, Scott? Honestly, man.
Yeah, I've probably had 4 where I literally felt, like a deep connection. But the problem in a couple of those was really me, Calvin. Let's be real. There's been times I've created turbulence in the relationship to give me an excuse to run out the back door, right? To go play around in another playground somewhere else. Look, I'm just keeping it real. I've done that. I didn't want to deal with it anymore. And I was finding and looking for any excuse to cause turbulence, to give me a reason to say, I'm just going to go take a drive, jump on a motorcycle or whatever to cool off. But what was I really doing? You know what I mean? Calling the friend with benefits and then going over there and not doing the right thing. So a lot of it is us. A lot of it's because, we don't want to deal with it. And we're always looking, for something else. And that's the problem that we have. We don't fix it. We've never been programmed to fix what we have now. And then we go running to another thing broken. So you're running to another relationship broken. No wonder why it's not working, because you came to it broke in the first place.
Do we have trust issues? Is that a reason? Okay, every relationship that you've had, any of y'all can answer this. Have you been 100% honest and open with the woman? I mean, told her your whole past, or have you held something back? Maybe that's the reason why eventually, it came to pass and it came to a head and it didn't work out. Did you tell the woman everything, or do you think, well, as a man, I shouldn't tell her everything? I'm not gonna put it all on the table.
I'm an open book, man. I'll tell it like it is. I don't have any lies in me. I'm a hater of lies, teller of truth, man.
Okay. So what's changed about you, King B Stacker, that's going to make this relationship work where the other ones didn't? What's changed about you? See, this is what I'm trying to get at. If you're just the same King B Stacker, it's not going to work. I'm letting you know now.
I feel you, man. No, I definitely realized that in my first relationship, I was maybe more standoffish than I should have been. I definitely should have tried more. Not maybe, I should have tried more. I should have been more communicative too, but man, trying to think back on it, like we work different schedules, like we never had daycare or our kids go to like a babysitter. Like she worked she worked during the day. I worked at night.
Wait, let me stop you. Don't go down that road. What has changed about you that's going to
Okay.
make this relationship work. Let me finish. Because
Okay.
if you just expecting the woman just to be more agreeable and more cooperative, and that's going to make it work, it's probably not going to work. If you coming into this relationship with the same thinking that you had in all the other relationships, it's not going to work. Let's get honest. Okay? I'm going to ask everybody the same thing. Okay, what's changed about you, Marcus, that makes you think that your new relationship's going to work when the other ones didn't? Are you just expecting the woman to be more cooperative and more agreeable and to go along with what Marcus says? Is that the reason why it's going to work?
I had to change. I had to change within me. I had to become more mature and grow and realize my mistakes. In my younger days, I had a lot more energy. I wanted to move around. I didn't want to be committed to one woman. But as I grew older and became more mature and more settled, I realized that it's better, stability is better than my desires. That comes from what I was talking about earlier when I said discipline and understanding yourself and understanding the situation you're in with the woman. So in answer to your question, what would I bring different is my maturity and being more patient and more willingness to understand.
Yeah. So your attitude, you're still the boss of the house, though. You're still going to have the final say.
I'm definitely the man of my household. However,
Okay.
I do listen to my woman. And if
Yeah.
her idea at that point or her point of view happens to be better than mine, then that's where we go.
Okay. Now, what about you, Scott? What has changed? Okay, your last marriage didn't work. Even though as much as you wanted it to, it didn't work. So why is this one going to work and that one didn't? This is what I'm trying to get at. Why you think this you're the same person, basically. You're just older. But why you think this one's going to work? If you got the same attitudes and everything, beliefs and expectations as you did before, what makes you think it's going to work now?
Calvin, sometimes you win in life, sometimes you learn in life. And I've learned a lot through my past relationships. I've laid my head on the pillow and stared up at the ceiling going, why can't this relationship work? So I've never, one thing you don't want to do is bring those bad habits into the present with you. And that's why this marriage and this relationship is going like crazy right now. We're like the Energizer Bunny, man, because I'm not bringing those bad habits, that all those little tactics. See, we're dirty. Let me tell you something. If you find a tactic that works, that leverage, that you use to leverage yourself in a relationship or an argument or something, you try those tactics. Oh, it worked over here. So you bring those dirty tactics into the new relationship. Let me tell you something. Start with a clean slate and don't make the mistakes that you have made in the past. Think a different way,
Right.
Act a different way, apologize a different way. And you'll see that your relationship's a heck of a lot better.
Now, this is for everybody on the panel, anybody watching. Would y'all consider a man weak if his woman ran the household?
That's called beta.
No, I'm just saying that why would you think that? He can be just as strong and just as masculine as you, but maybe his wife is better at taking care of things than him. See, this is where I'm trying to get at. What makes you think that, would you consider a man to be weak? Y'all giving me that answer.
Well,
what about you, Keith Stacker? Would you consider a man weak if his woman ran the house?
No, because I did that, but that relationship failed, So, I mean, my track record with that is it didn't work for me. maybe it will work for some other man, but
No,
I don't
I'm not
believe.
saying
I
that.
don't believe. I don't believe that.
Would you consider a man weak if
No,
the woman
I
ran
wouldn't.
everything?
I wouldn't consider him weak. I would consider him maybe pussy whip.
Okay, see, this is what I'm trying to get at. This is the same beliefs that we're bringing into our new relationship. And then we're expecting it to work. See, here's one thing I know for sure. You can't act against your thinking. You know, I know everybody's got a strategy for their new relationship, but you can't act against your thinking. If you think, hey, look, I'm better than her, I'm stronger than her, I'm in charge, you're gonna give me the pussy when I say when I want it. And if you don't, it's my way or the highway. See, if you think like that, you're not gonna act against that. You're always gonna think that way until you change. Okay. Until you run into a woman who's going to be agreeable. And I think that's why men come over here, because they're thinking Filipinos are going to be agreeable. They're thinking that they're going to be more cooperative, which they are than Americans to a certain extent. But eventually you're going to hit that wall too with them. The woman's going to come out of them because they're women. We're still on planet Earth. It may work for a little while. A lot of us are still in our honeymoon with these women. So you saying, like you, King B. Stacker, you saying, oh, I really love this woman. She's the best thing ever happened to me. Man, yeah. you just know the lady. You have no idea what's coming down the pike. I'm not trying to discourage you. You have no idea. Okay. So it may be working now. Okay. But I'm saying if we bring that same thinking in there, you're not going to act any different. You can't act against your thinking. If you can't swim, Scott, you're not going to go and jump in the deep end of the swimming pool. This is what I'm trying to get you guys to see. If you don't change your thinking, your actions aren't going to change. You're going to bring that same crazy, messed up attitude into this new relationship that you always did, and they always failed. And then we say, oh, well, it was the woman's fault. And, I'm older now. And that's all I'm saying. We're trying to say, why in the world?
No, I definitely changed my way of thinking. Definitely changed my way of thinking and how I view a relationship. It's definitely a two-way street. Like I said, I'm always, especially when I'm living here in the Philippines, I'm going to defer to her because she knows more about this than I do, But ultimately, when it comes to a major decision, I'm going to take that and I'm going to run with it. And I'm going to listen to everything she has to say. But for the children in the relationship, they got to know that you're the boss too, The mom's the boss, but I'm the boss too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Calvin,
I mean,
my wife is,
I hear you.
My wife is 46. I'm 53. She has her own house here. We're in a 3-story house over here. She built this house by working abroad as a teacher over in Hong Kong and Singapore. But she's also very strong and independent also. So when I got over here, I just got in where I fit in. I'm going to tell you something. She does not let me do the laundry. I try. Hey, I was raised doing laundry, washing it in our double sink in a 2-bedroom apartment. So, I'm not cooking anything over here. I'm not cleaning my own tennis shoes over here. Sometime out in the garden, there's only specific areas out in the yard that I'm able to touch, or she trusts me with, because she has been doing it on her own. And I never have taken this mindset that, dang, you think you know everything because you know whatever. I just have fallen into place when it comes to cutting the coconuts that we get out of the backyard to drink some fresh coconut water. Who's cutting the coconut? She is. She's the island girl. She's handling the machete. I don't need to come in there because I spent 32 years in the Army, a warrior, to take that machete and cut that. Hey, if she's better at it, let her do it. So I have fallen into my own roles in places in the house. You know, I kill ants in the morning,
Now,
but I don't feel less than a man. You know, I just fell into place here, and it's working really well.
Winston Graham, he's hitting on something here about what the vlog is about. Okay, he's saying, Cal, men are afraid to play traditional female roles. Let's see, to make their relationship work because of societal peer pressure. Men are more interested in their outward image, not adapting. See, this is what I'm saying. If we're holding on to these old societal beliefs and stereotypes that never worked before, what makes you think they're going to work now? Okay, this is all I'm saying. There's no right or wrong about it. We're just trying to get to the bottom of why are we so bad in relationships and marriages when there's a lot of attractive single women out here who would love to spend the rest of their life with men like us, but it fails. It doesn't work.
Yeah, because we think we got to run everything because we're the man. We think we got to be the head, in charge.
Yeah, see, everybody's saying all this stuff, but their relationships aren't working. Maybe we need to take a look at some of the stuff we're doing, some of the things we're thinking. When society says, it puts a lot of pressure on you. Okay, when you say, yeah, it's easy for you, King B, over here. When you say, oh, I'm going to be the head of the house over here, because the woman's not going to be making anything. But that and the cost of living over here is a lot less.
Yeah.
Okay. But when you're in a situation where it's all on your back and you believe it should be on your back, man, that's a lot of pressure. And eventually pressure bursts pipes. You're not sharing with the woman, hey, honey, I'm tired of paying all the damn bills. It's really getting on my case. Because as men, we're not taught to show vulnerability. Hey, this pressure is really getting to me. Working these 2 jobs, or like you, Marcus, you were an independent businessman. Well, you still are, right?
Yes.
So you got that pressure on you there. Like, because if you don't do it, they don't just pay you, right? You got to sell houses and you don't get a salary, do you?
Commission.
Yeah, commission. So that's more pressure right there for you to be the man. And it's like, eventually, it's gonna show outwardly, guys. We're human beings. We're not robots. You may snap at the woman at the wrong time, and then that's a snowball going down the hill. This is what I'm trying to get at. We believe in all this stuff. I'm the man in charge. The final word is mine. Just sit over there and be the woman. Watch the clothes. Do this, do that. A lot of women aren't gonna put up with that anymore.
Yeah, and if you claiming to be the man, you better step up and be the man and have all the affairs in order, because otherwise you just a lot of bark and no bite. And they'll pick up on that quick.
This is a lot of the complaints we have against Western women. You come home and she says, oh, you cook your own meal. And we got a problem with that. Because in our thinking, you're supposed to do it. But she's saying, no, do it yourself. So the relationship don't work. Instead of you saying, okay, I'm going to do it myself. And try to, work that out some kind of way. Instead of taking offense to it and holding on to these antiquated ideas and stuff, man. Society can be wrong, man. They've proven it over and over and over that society can be wrong, guys. That's all I'm trying to get at. We're just fooling ourselves. If I'm not trying to change the way I think over here, I'm just going to be, it's only just going to be a matter of time before I'm on to the next woman. Okay? And I'm tired of that, really. I want to change. I want some answers. Is it okay for the woman to run everything? Y'all said no, it's not.
Hey,
I don't know, man.
what goes on in our house is our business. Let me tell you something. My wife tells me to grab the broom and dustpan and go clean that mess up. Oh, yes, ma'am. I got you. Nobody needs to know that, what's going on. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go out there to Mr. Maxwell and say, man, my wife, I'm a yes man. I went over. Yeah. Hey, what goes on in our house is our business. So we can fall into that stuff. Hey, if she's happy, and at the end of the day, you're both happy. Whatever happens, happens. If she's smarter at running some things, let her run it. Don't hold her back. See, that's the problem. We're basically saying you don't have what it takes to be a woman. Let me handle it all. No, see. Let me tell you something. Let them loose. Let them run it if they got to run it, and support them. Because guess what? When it comes time for you to go out there and try something new, they're going to be behind you because you are behind them. It's a give and take deal. And if there's no give and take, it's going to create too much tension and something's going to pop.
I agree with that. Yeah. You got to have a understanding.
And I can honestly say that if we're really 100% honest, we want an easy woman. You know, a lot of times the women that we have now came to us easy. It's not like she's really the woman of our dreams. Okay. You have to be honest though. So that's going to play a part eventually somewhere down the line. If you're not really with the woman of your choice for real, it's like, okay, yeah, well, she chose me. That's going to show up somewhere down the line. You know, right now, everything's good. Scott, how long you been married?
So we're newlyweds. Almira and I just got married in June. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, we just got married in June.
So you're still on your honeymoon. King B. Stacker, how long have you been with your girlfriend?
Well, 8 months in
just answer the question. How long have you physically been with her?
Physically, 8.5 weeks.
Okay.
But we've been in a what you call a talking relationship for since December 13th.
That means absolutely nothing. Okay, and you know it don't, because you can't hold her. Now it's a relationship. When you go home, it's going to be a long distance relationship. Okay.
Right.
And
I feel you. I know what you're talking about.
Then you're going to see some things. Okay. Marcus, you were with your girlfriend. Your friend. Is she your girlfriend, or what do you consider that?
Yeah, that's my girl.
Okay. So y'all were physically together for how long?
About a month physically.
Yeah. Okay. So it's too early really for anybody really to say whether it's going to work or not, right?
I pray.
Because all three of you, is this your first relationship in the Philippines?
It is.
Mine. Yeah.
It is, but not my first marriage. Definitely.
No, not your first marriage. Is this your first time dating a Filipino woman?
Yes.
In the Philippines.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I just want to let you know the odds are against you already. Okay. I just want to give y'all the good news. Okay.
Good news, man.
The odds are already against you. So then if you're going to bring in this crazy thinking that we have, which by the way, we think it's okay with them. We know so little of their culture. We just going on what people tell us. We think it's okay that you can come over here and give orders and, sit back and be the king, so to speak, right? So you're bringing that thinking in. The odds are already stacked against you. The first relationship does not work in the overwhelming majority of cases. Okay. We got to make some changes, guys, or we're going to be on to the next woman. This is all this vlog is about. We're trying to help each other. We're not trying to argue. We're just having a conversation. We're trying to say, what can I do to make myself a better man in order for me to be, for my relationship to be better? Because if I'm not better, the relationship's not going to be any better.
Yeah, there's some huge cultural differences over here. Just because you come over here with, go ahead,
Marcus. Go ahead, Marcus.
what would you tell us new guys from a 14-year veteran in the Philippines?
Well, it's too late. I would tell you to take it slow, to slow down, but it's too late. You've already become live-in partners and everything like that. See, because cultural differences, man, are going to show up. They may not have shown up yet, and not to the degree that they're going to show up, man. Watch when when it hits the fan, and you can't get through to her, she can't get through to you. She has her own way of being angry with you. You have your own way, man. It's tough. It's all I'm saying. So, yeah, I would say, look, take it easy. Don't move in, but it's too late. You've already done it, and this is a mistake we all make. You don't know the woman that you're with. You can't say, oh, I know her after 8.5 weeks, King B. Stacker. You know, she's doing all that stuff for you. She's bending over backwards. She's being as nice as she possibly can. Well, if she was so nice, why was she single? Don't blame it on the man. Same with you, Marcus. Same with all of us. We don't know the women. And then when you put it all in, you don't know any more about this woman than you did the rest of the relationships that didn't work. Come on, man. Let's don't be crazy. You don't know any more about her. You can't look at a person and say, oh, I can feel it. You don't have that kind of power. I'm just saying
Calvin,
that
that's why I took your advice, Calvin, several years ago. I'm not here overnight. I tapped into you because my business partner was sitting in Southern California, said, hey, man, you may want to check this brother out. So I came over here, went back, came over here, stayed a little bit longer, went back, came back over here, stayed a lot longer, then went back, then came back. This has been over almost now, 4 years, with Almira. So we didn't just pop into this thing. I've taken a lot of my advice, a lot of my marching orders from you, watching you. And that's why I made it work. One last thing, and I'll shut up. Dr. Miles Monroe has a very short video out. It's on YouTube. It's called Why God Wants You to Be Alone. Why God Wants You to Be Alone. And even though I knew Almira when I was on the Appalachian Trail, I was out there alone for a long time, hiking, just packing, mile after mile. I had a lot of time to grow myself and figure out who I really was and make a pivot, a U-turn in my life. And that's from head to toe, I made a pivot and a U-turn, and I seen what was holding me back. And I just I just have a mantra now. I'm not going to do those things that held me back anymore. I want to make some changes and be alone, find out who I am, so I can look, for a better tomorrow. That's why things are working. But yeah, this isn't an overnight success with Almira. This has been a lot of flying back and forth. But every time I came back, I stayed a little longer. Now this is where I live. I don't even want to go back to America. The mess that's going on over there now, I don't even want to go back. I want to just stay here and vibe. That's it. I want to go back and visit, but I want to vibe here with my marriage.
Yeah, he just asked me what advice would I give. We're all in. We go all in too soon. We're all in too soon.
I'm all in, man. I'm all in.
We're all
and
in.
And I hope I don't get burned for it, but I'm definitely all in, man.
A lot of guys say that. Don't you know? I was telling y'all yesterday on my live stream, and it reminds me of you, King B Stack. I wish nothing but the best for you. But we all went out to eat. It was like 30 of us, maybe more. And afterwards, we were just sitting around talking. And I brought that same thing up. I was like, I don't know what it is, but it just seems like whenever a foreigner comes over here, the first relationship doesn't work out. Well, I always scared some people, right? One guy was like, man, him and his girlfriend, they were the model couple. They were the perfect Filipino foreigner couple, And everybody thought, he said, man, I just hope you're wrong, Cal. Well, they're no longer together, man. I don't know why. I hope I'm wrong about you guys. Okay. But the odds are stacked against you for making that first one work. It's not impossible, obviously, because people have done it. But when you come over here and you just choose one without knowing anything else, you move right in with them. Everything is, you're all in already. That's foolish to do that. This is one of the reasons why y'all not even seeing this. As men, we're doing this. Right? As a man, we're doing this. This is why our relationships fail. Because we make decisions like this. As men, we do it. Okay? So that's what I'm trying to say.
Like you said, Calvin, talk to many, and I might not have done it the way I did it if I had to do it again. Like I said, I was talking to eight or nine different Filipinas. I probably would have came over here and met every one of them to see.
But you didn't. You got with the first one. You got with the first one. I'm hoping it works for you, King B. I hope it works for you. But I chose her
over all the others, though, too,
No, you didn't. You've only been with one. You've been with the first one that you met over here. Okay? This is the first Filipino you've ever been with, that you've ever held in your arms, you've ever kissed. This is your first relationship. The rest of that stuff don't matter. Talking to him online and stuff, that stuff don't matter, man. Who else was she talking to? All them women you were talking to, you think they were just talking to you exclusively? I'm not picking on you. I'm not picking on you. I hope it works.
I believe wholeheartedly that they were talking to somebody.
He asked me, what advice would I give the new man? And I said, it's too late. This is the type of decisions men make. And this is why our relationships fail. And our marriages fail because we make decisions like that. We think that like you said, I can see. You can't see nothing in that woman. You can't see in her any more than you could see the other ones. But this is a man's thinking. We think we can see. I can tell. This is the one. You said that about them all. I said that about them all. Okay? Right? But it's too late, Marcus. You're already in, so you just do the best you can. Try to make it work, man. It's tough. It's gonna be tough. I'm telling you now. It's gonna be tough because you're a man. Because you're a man.
That point.
Because you're a man. Go ahead.
When I first met my wife, my ex-wife, we knew each other about a month, and then we got married. So in retrospect, and thinking back on it, I would say I didn't take the time out to get to know this person first. So I can see your point in relation to that.
Thank you.
But what you're saying is I should take that point and relate it to this also.
Yeah, I'm saying, okay, at least you and your wife, y'all from the same culture, right?
Right.
Both in America. See, we try to take these cultural differences over here too lightly, guys. It's a big deal, okay, is what I'm saying. And you've already laid down with her. You've already sealed the deal in her eyes, but in your eyes, you're a man. You're going to come over here. You're still going to be looking. There's going to be other women who may even offer themselves to you. And you're going to say, you're going to have second thoughts. Okay. She may have second.
I haven't already had second thoughts, but I love her. So those other second thoughts don't matter to me.
She may have second thoughts. Okay.
Oh, very well possible.
All right, then. I'm just saying, I hope it works for you. Don't get me wrong. It has worked. Okay. But I'm just telling you that the odds are stacked against you. He asked me, what would you do, Cal? What could you give us? But it's too late. You've already done it. Okay. You're in like that. And everybody's different.
To that effect, listen to Calvin. When he says, come over here and meet a Filipino, do what he says, because That's true, man. You can meet them here just as easy as you can meet them online. And like he says, you walk around in the Philippines, man, you're like a rock star. The
That's
women,
not what I'm saying.
they're not throwing themselves at you, but believe me, you get looks, you know?
But even the ones that you meet, any way you meet them, the cultural differences are still going to be there. See, you're so early in your relationship that they haven't really come out yet. It's too early. It's going to come out.
I'm sure.
It's going to piss you off. And she's going to be pissed off.
Can you give us
Okay,
an
right now
example?
you're on your honeymoon.
Oh,
I
definitely.
don't know why my comments aren't moving over here. I don't know what's going on. I know people are commenting, but I'm not seeing them. They're not moving. But anyway, let's move on from that. Have you, okay, I know Scott's already married. Have you set a marriage date, King B?
No, just sometime next year when I get back and we get settled in. We don't have a date yet. I put a ring on her finger though.
So you're coming back. So you're leaving September and
I'll
you're
be back.
coming back when?
Hopefully before Christmas. I plan on being with You Dirty Puppy on New Year's Eve in San Carlos City. So that's my
Okay.
goal.
Now you haven't talked marriage yet, have you, Marcus?
No.
Yeah. Because more than likely the women are watching. Okay, they're going to watch. If you told her you're going to be on the show, she's watching. You know, so just to let you know. And but you're pretty serious about her, right?
Yeah.
What is it about her that you're so sure about it?
Different from what I've had over here. Soft spoken,
Okay.
not loud. Just the differences.
And I want to apologize to my viewers. This damn my comments aren't moving anymore. Are they moving for y'all? Do y'all see the comments moving?
I just
I
see
can't
one.
see the chat.
No, Frank Tate is it
I
seems
see
like the
Harold
last
Teal.
one.
Yeah, Frank takes the last one. I don't understand it. I don't know what's going on.
Maybe they
But
got
anyway,
sick of us and said we're not chiming in. They're not answering Calvin right.
no, that's not it. Something's going on with this StreamYard. But I just want you guys to know I'm not discouraging you in any way. You know,
No, I don't think you are. I don't think you are. I think you're just keeping it real, man. And that's what I like about you.
I want you guys to know that do not take these cultural differences lightly, because we do. We meet these women, man, it's a fairy tale in the beginning, and then all of a sudden, man, you realize, wow, it's a lot of things going on, man, that you're not gonna like. You know, and then you're gonna come to a point where you say, okay, well, either I'm gonna deal with this or I'm not. And a lot of us just say we're not gonna deal with it. But it just depends on the person, you know. Some people have low self-esteem and they say, oh, I'm happy to have anybody I've got. So whoever I get, I'm lucky, I'm going to hold on to them. That may drive them away. That may drive the woman away. I don't really know. What was it about your wife, Scott, that made you think, this is the one? Was it her age? What was it?
I loved her independence, her willingness to go abroad. That resonated with me because someone who served in the military, and especially in the special operations community for over 20 years, that really, you know what, in a sense, it said to me, you know what? She's not afraid to go to Hong Kong. She's not afraid to go to Singapore. She is in some ways a go-getter, willing to go out there and fight for the things she wanted. That's what I do. And that's what really resonated with me, and how simple she is. Like the things we think about and act on in America, it's not the same here. Like when they say simple, I just love how simple how simple her lifestyle is and what she brings to the table through that simplicity. And one thing that I don't do is dumb that down, because she's very smart, she's bright, she's strict, and she also knows what she wants, even though they don't have a lot of the means that we have back in the West, or in America. But my God, that's what attracted me to her. She's not afraid to go out there and try new things.
Yeah. So you saw that online. Her looks didn't come in play.
No, because at first, when we first met, I was like, man, she has the look, she has the smarts. Maybe this is too good to be true type thing. But when I seen her leaning into me, it caused me to lean in more. And I really, got on board.
Did you meet online? Did you meet online?
Yeah, let me tell you really quick about that. So a friend of mine asked me.
Let me. I'm trying to get at something. So you met online.
Yeah.
So the looks
on
didn't.
A site called.
Right. But so you saw all of that in her profile. So looks didn't come into play at all.
Yeah, looks came in, but there's more than just looks.
I know that.
Yeah.
I know that though, but that has to be the reason why you clicked on a profile.
Yeah, let me tell you something.
You have to be attractive.
Let me tell you something. I promise you I won't say another word after this. I've seen guys in America have bomb women. Bomb. I mean, those are the type of women that from their outward appearance that, hey, I want a woman like that on my shoulder. I used to tell my business partner and best friend since 4 years old, man, why can't I have that? Why can't I have a nice woman? And no matter how bad these brothers treat their women, or not even brothers, but in general, guess what? They're like a freaking dog that comes back and lays at the master's feet. How is it that they're willing to stay in this thing and they're being mistreated, looking fine? Why can't I have that? But that's why I got by myself and got alone and really had to figure out who the heck I was in order for this thing to work the way it's working now. But her looks were one, but more than that, when we started talking, there were also a lot of similarities in the cultural differences, if that makes any sense, that attracted me to her.
Now, all of you are fairly young in your relationship. Have you told her no? I mean, honestly, don't lie, guys. I'm trying to help you. Okay. Have you told her no in the 8.5 weeks, King B, that you've been with her? Are you just going out of your way to impress her? You're giving her everything that she wants. And
I told her right now I'm on vacation mode, right? When I come back, it's going to be totally different. But yes, I've told her no. She loves to shop for these cheap bags on Facebook, and I was like, how many bags do you really need? How many purses you need? You don't need all them purses. I told her no. Stop buying. No
but
more.
that was after you've already bought the purses, right?
A couple.
Has she told you no?
No.
That's right. That's right. Well, what's going to happen? And this is the same question to all you guys. You don't have to answer, but you think in your mind. What's going to happen when those no's going to start coming? What's going to happen? Because they're going to come. As long as you keep saying yes and she keeps saying yes, it's going to work. Okay? Yeah. I'm just telling you, but you're not going to have a real relationship. As long as you keep saying yes, as long as she
can
say
no anytime she wants.
Yep.
She's told me I can say no. I said, yeah, you can say no.
That's not what I'm asking you. Has she told you no yet?
No.
Don't lie. Of course she
No,
hasn't.
no, of course she hasn't. Matter of fact, she initiates a lot.
Yeah, she'll
So
be crazy. She'll be crazy to say no. Is it crazy for you to think that any of you, that your woman is putting on an addition for you and you're doing the same thing for her? It's
right,
too
right,
early. It's so early. You're putting your best foot forward. She hasn't seen the real King B Stacker yet. Neither
right.
has she seen the real Marcus yet. Neither has she seen the real Scott yet. Okay? Has she seen you scared before? Angry,
Oh
you
yeah.
know, skeptical, and all of that. She hasn't seen it yet. It's too early.
She's
And
seen me anxiety ridden.
when that stuff starts happening, and then she sees you like that, and then she responds to that, it makes all the difference in the world. You guys enjoy it right now while you can, because it's early in the relationship. But that first one usually doesn't work out. I hope 5 years from now, y'all come back and say, man, we still together. Okay? But when it doesn't, I want you to be honest and say, yeah, Cal was right. It didn't, I don't know why, but one day it was just, everything was going so well, then next thing you know, it all fell out. Because it happened to me, man. It happened to so many of us over here. We come over here, man. We meet these attractive women, different than any woman we've ever met. Everything is yes. And then as time goes on, you wake up one day and you're looking at her like, I don't know, I made the wrong decision. You know, they start doing stuff culturally, and you start doing things culturally, and it clashes. I'm not the only one, man. My buddy John, he went through 7 women before he finally met Janessa. If you talk to these guys, see the comments aren't working. They will tell you that that's not their first woman. Okay? And you guys are looking, so I'm going to show him, and you're right. But he asked me, he just said, but anyway, okay, but that's one of the reasons why our relationships fail. We jump into them so quick, right? And what we do is we're too nice. A lot of men think that they're too nice because women say, "Oh, well, I want a nice man." So this is what I was telling you about the yes phase. We start paying for everything, buying her gifts all the time, doing everything she wants to do. Always giving in to her demands, trying really hard to impress her. This is the stage that you're all in right now, the early stage. But that's
Definitely.
a reason why a lot of our relationships don't work as men. I'm just going to read some stuff because I was doing some research because I wanted to know why in the world was I in 10 relationships. It says right here, a lot of times we show too much interest too soon. Okay, we're all in, it says. And it says when you show interest in a woman right away, it makes her feel like she doesn't have to do anything else to impress you or to maintain your interest. See, they'll take you for granted. One thing that you don't even know right now, I'm going to tell you, and I hope your woman's listening, they will take you for granted. And that's going to piss you off more than anything. You're going to be like, all the stuff I did, look at to change my life. I'm all the way over here. I did this, I did that. It's like, oh, well, I didn't tell you to do it. And you're going to feel like your head wants to explode. All the damn sacrifices you done made. See? Okay. But here's some more things that they say. Well, I don't think y'all have a problem with this, but it says not creating sexual tension. And it says creating sexual tension between you and a woman is a must. It says flirting is the best way then to release that sexual tension, with kissing, sex, etc. He said most men think that doing that is being too forward. But this is what I didn't know. Tell me if you knew this, Scott, any of y'all. Women choose their men based on sexual desire, regardless of how conservative they act. Did anybody else know that? I didn't know that.
No, but Yeah, she told me that she asked her older sister about me because I'm a very heavy guy. You saw that, Calvin. I'm a fat guy, but
Yeah, well,
she said that
you're not that damn fat, but yeah, I mean,
I'm
you're just
I'm
a big guy, but
I'm
you're
a
not.
big guy. But she asked her sister, and she said, "No, he's not fat in the face." You know, I guess I don't know. I don't. Maybe it's a Filipino thing. I don't know. But yeah, she I don't know. It made me
Why?
think
So
of that.
why do you think she's with you, King B?
I asked
And
her.
I mean, why do you think she's with you? Not what she's gonna say. Of course, she's gonna say all the good things.
Okay, the first week when we were together, we were by ourselves, and she told me, she goes, "There's something missing," and that kind of destroyed me. You know, like what can be missing? We've been talking for 6.5 months. What's missing? You know, this is the part where we're supposed to come together. Well, I kind of freaked out a little bit, and I just was like, I'm gonna go for a walk, and it was late at night, and she was adamant that I wasn't leaving the hotel room, and so we had a good talk, and I don't know, like after that, I don't know, like our intimacy became more, you know, it became better for some reason, and yeah, I don't know what was missing, but I don't know. I
Yeah,
think
but
she
I'm saying,
found whatever was missing.
why do you think your woman is with you?
She's with me for security because I asked her, and I'm a good man. She told me I'm a good man.
Not
They
what
want to
she
find a
told
good
you.
man.
Why do you think
That's
your woman's with you, Marcus?
Like you
Is
said,
it
security,
your good looks and intelligence? You think?
security, stability,
Okay.
a possible good future.
So I guess the pushback, everybody's gonna say, well, all women want that, right?
all women want that. I think my woman's with me now because she loves me truly. I think that, I think that in the time that I've been here, that we've grown pretty good together. We get along great. We're always laughing, always kidding.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I
So
prayed for it, man.
you're saying it's love. You're saying it's love
It's love now. It's definitely love now.
already.
Yeah, I think she.
It's not infatuation. Do you know what infatuation is?
Oh yeah, yeah, man. I'm a pretty intelligent guy, Calvin.
What is infatuation? Well, how do you know it's a difference? Well, you know the difference then. The infatuation is immediate, is in
right.
the meantime. Love takes time.
I
So
was
you think
infatuated.
so
At
you think
first, I was
8 weeks
infatuated.
so you think 8 weeks is enough time for it to love develops over time. Infatuation is 8 weeks.
And no,
Well,
not necessarily. I have to disagree with you on that one.
yeah, but
I
you were in
think
love before. You were in love before.
yeah, but I think it's cemented as real love now. It was more
Four other
infatuation in
times.
the beginning.
You were in love 4 other times.
3 other times,
Yeah.
but
How'd that
I
turn
didn't.
out?
I never ended any of those relationships, Calvin. I still love all those women for all different reasons.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, but the love didn't stop it from ending,
No, it ended.
right? It ended.
Yeah,
Now,
they end.
is it love? Is it love for you, Marcus?
You mean does she love me?
No, I'm just saying, do you love her? And I'm
Yeah,
not putting you on the spot. I'm just saying, or is it infatuation?
I would say love, not infatuation, but the love does get stronger over time. I think,
Yeah.
yeah,
So you think she's the one? Everybody on the panel is what I'm asking. So this is it. This is it. This is it. Have you ever thought this way about somebody before?
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
yeah, we've
Okay.
all been married.
Yeah. So what's going to be different this time? So we're getting to the end of the vlog, and now y'all really starting to see what I'm trying to get at. So what's going to be different this time? If you've already been in love before, you've already experienced all this stuff, and it still didn't work, what's the difference this time? Is it just the woman? Is it you? Because you really don't know the woman yet. It's too early. Even Scott, he just got married.
But all we can do is control our part. That's all we can do. All we
Yeah.
have control over is our part.
yeah,
I've definitely changed.
yeah. Learn from your past, and don't bring that same stuff that had your relationships broken in the past into today. One of the things about Almira was she was in a relationship with a guy that wouldn't let her wear what she wanted to wear. He was so jealous that even when she would talk to her brother, he would accuse her of having some sort of relationship with her own brother. And I just made her feel safe in this relationship. That's not the kind of person that I am. You know, I'm not going to do that. I want you to wear the things that you feel comfortable wearing. I'm not that person, but I want you to also feel comfortable that I'm not going to accuse you of that stuff. So I've created a safe place for her to, really confide in me. So
has anybody, because you bring up a good point, because most of the time when you talk to a Filipino about her ex, you only get that one side. You're only going to get her side. You don't get the other side. Has anybody sitting here tonight, has a woman said, the reason why they're not with the man is because it was her fault? Or has it always been the man's fault? See, when it's always the man's fault, guys, be careful of that. Okay? When a woman says it's always the man's fault, because it's always our fault. It doesn't matter if you're in the Philippines or in America or wherever you are, right? So if the woman says, has anybody's woman, just raise your hand and say, oh, well, it was my fault. I fell out of love, or, I cheated, or whatever it was, and I left. But usually it's usually he cheated, or, he ran off while I was pregnant, or, he abused me.
Yeah.
It's always that. So, just be careful. That's why I say always go around the friends and family. Just keep going around the friends and family. They're gonna vet her. They're gonna tell you something eventually when they feel comfortable enough to do it. They're gonna say, well, that boyfriend of hers, he lives right down the street, and they still talk, and you know what really happened with them, don't you? Somebody's gonna tell you that. Okay? That's usually what happens over here. I'm just giving y'all little pointers because you're early in your relationship. Yeah. Marcus asked you, hey, what can I do? What kind of advice you got?
Yeah. Two of my arguments came from just something so simple, it's ridiculous. And her younger brother had to pull me to the side and say something. We got into an argument because I could not peel my own shrimp and eat it myself. She was peeling my shrimp and feeding me. I felt a little embarrassed about that. Like, man, I'm a man. I know how to peel shrimp and eat shrimp. And I was like, my love, let me do it. God dang it, So she always, was wanting to take care of me when, I come from, hey, I've really taken care of myself also. And then the other one was simply taking trash down to the burn pit. My love, from the top floor. Be careful, my love. Honey, I'm just walking. walking out to take the trash. Stop treating me like that. I'm a man. I can walk down here in my flip-flops to burn the trash. Stop doing that. I'm not a punk. And you know what? Those have been our arguments. Stop treating me like I can't do it. But they care for me so much that I didn't realize it, one of those culture things, and I turned it into an argument. I was like, man, you treat me like I'm a punk. What am I even here for? Let me be a man. So yeah, Calvin, you're right. And just because of that, because of her love for me and concern, caring for me, walking down to take the trash to the burn pit, almost made me want to go back because I wasn't used to that cultural vibe. It's just different, and I just had to accept it. Her brother said, hey, that's just the way they do things over here. Just let her do it.
Yeah, Maryland peels my shrimp. Maryland peels my shrimp for me, but I'm glad because it's too messy. It's too messy for me, and I don't feel, I don't want to fool with all that stuff. Yeah. But what kind of cultural stuff have you run into? So, well, you was only here a month, but that was enough. Did you run into any cultural things, Marcus?
Well, yeah. When we had been walking through the field over there and my shoes were dirty, she had cleaned them for me. And the way she laid the food out and prepare everything, it's different.
Did you have any cultural differences, like Scott was saying? Because that's what happens, and then it's your tone of voice that will get her mad. That's really what it was, Scott, because it happens to me in Maryland all the time. Even any woman I've ever dealt with over here, you don't mean anything bad, but she's like, I got this, what are you doing, and they upset for the rest of the damn day over something little like that, and you be like, yeah, it's not that serious, but yeah, it happens to me all the time. I'll be like, doing something like that, taking the garbage out, or, whatever. I got that, let me do it. I'm like, yeah, all right, let me do it. I can do it. What about you, Lee? Have you run into any cultural differences yet?
Just same, very concerned for me, which I don't mind. She takes good care of me, which makes me happy. I used to tease my first wife in the early stages that my second wife was going to be Japanese. Little did I know it's really going to be a Filipina. That could be one reason why my first marriage failed too, but yeah, not too many. She always thinks I'm mad for some reason, which I don't know. I don't have a scowl on my face or something, but she's like, are you mad? Are you mad? No, I'm not mad. Why do you keep asking all the time if I'm mad?
Yeah. It sounds like to me that you don't have any complaints. Everything's perfect basically right now.
Yeah, right now everything's good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good, man. That's how you want it, right?
That's how I want it. But if problems arise, I'm ready to deal with it, I want to be with her, so
So what kind of stuff's in that book? Are you practicing that book over here? Is that what you're doing?
I'm still about halfway through it. I'm implementing it now. I'm laying the groundwork for it.
But this is supposed to be for American women, though, right?
Right, but it still applies. It still applies in any relationship.
Yeah.
You have
what's something that you're applying right now?
Just that, I think that, this is a matriarchal society, right? Supposedly, from what You Dirty Puppy says, he's got a lot of experience in the Philippines, right?
Yeah, he got like 40 years and stuff.
Right. So I'm going to obviously defer to her. I respect her as a woman. I respect her as my fiance. But when it comes down to the family decisions and the finances, obviously I bring the money to the table. I'm going to be the end all be all of that. But I'm also going to listen to everything she has to say about it, and take everything everything into consideration. You know, maybe she's right, and
Yeah.
I'll listen to what she says, but I'm going to make that final decision. You
Do
know?
you see anything different in this relationship than you didn't see in the rest of them?
Oh, yeah.
Like what?
She's appreciative. First of all, my wife didn't appreciate anything.
Yeah,
I
but I
took her
mean,
there.
the way you're acting, do you see any different? Are you more letting her, have a say, or are you more? How are you acting toward her differently than you didn't with the other ones?
Uh,
And I'm
I'm
gonna ask, I'm
very
gonna ask these other guys the same thing before we
I'm
get
very
off of
communi-
here.
very communicative with her, where I wasn't with my first. I was maybe in the beginning, but you can't let that communication break down. You have to be able, and that's the thing I instilled in her from Jump Street. Look, we have to be able to communicate about everything. Period. You don't keep nothing from me. And you know, we've had things happen here where she was keeping me out of the loop and not telling me, and I said, "Look, I know something's happening. I want you to tell me." And it was a family issue, and I said, "If I'm your family now, you let me know too, right?" I said, "If I'm in part of this family, I'm part of this familia. I want to be in on everything, you know." So she told me, and it disappointed me, but I rolled with it. You know, it's not my place. I'm in their home. I'm in their country. That's for them to deal with as a family. You know.
Yeah.
So
What about you, Marcus? Are you acting differently in this relationship than all the others? And how are you acting any different?
I'm being more open, more listening, more mature. But at the same time, I do have concerns. I think one of my main concerns is the language barrier, the language difference. To be able to,
Yeah.
these women can speak 2 and 3 different languages.
Yeah. Do you think it's disrespectful when she's talking her language in front of you? And okay, like when me and you were like when y'all ate with us, didn't y'all eat with us, right? We invited y'all to dinner, didn't
Yep,
we?
yep. We ate dinner in your
And
home.
Marilyn and her start talking in their own language. Does that bother you that you don't know what they're saying? Because I'm gonna tell you something. They're talking about us when they do that. Okay. It doesn't matter what they say, they're talking about us. They're asking each other questions about you, and she's asking questions about me. Does that bother you? Yeah, I got that same picture. Now, is that at the meet and greet?
no, that's at Quest Hotel. That's when we
Oh, okay,
first.
yeah. We
I
y'all
just
first
want the
met.
viewers to see the size difference.
Oh, okay. Does that bother you, Marcus?
Not in that instance it wouldn't, but in a certain other situation it would. Yeah, I would find it disrespectful.
Yeah, because you're out of the loop. They're
Yeah.
going to cut you out of the loop, and this is one of the cultural differences that you're going to run into. See, when I took my wife to America, I mean, I made sure, of course, she can listen to us, but I never tried to talk around her. I always included her in the relationship. I mean, in the conversation. Over here, they won't do it. You go, and I'm pretty sure it's happened to you, Lee. You went
Oh,
over
sure.
there, and everybody's talking
Absolutely.
around you.
Yeah.
There's no consideration. It's like, hey, what's going on? You can speak English. Why don't y'all speak English when I'm around?
I'm trying to learn, man. But science is not easy to retain, but I'm getting to where I've actually picked up
Yeah,
on some of the things they've been saying. You know, I'm
but
trying to learn, man.
yeah, that's almost impossible. Okay,
It's
Scott,
hard.
when it happens to you, how do you feel? Do you feel left out when they do that?
It depends on what the temperament is. If there's tension, then I worry a little bit. If it's just a normal happy-go-lucky date, no, I don't worry about it. It only just says, hey, I better learn the language. I'm going to say something. It bothered me a few weeks ago because we had these Samsung air conditioning units installed on the house, 2 brand new ones, and our neighbor took our drain hose and put it up over the fence because our property, even though we have a big lot here, the house is on the property line, and they don't like that water draining over there on their side of the house, even though they have their plants. But Almira and the neighbor were going back and forth, and I did become frustrated because they were going at it. He was saying, oh, you think you can do anything because you're rich? That's what I found out, and all this stuff. And I was like, my love, what are y'all saying? I became a little irate, Calvin, because I didn't know what they were saying. I didn't know what he was saying. Why did she have tears in her eyes? Because I want to know what the hell is being said. I'm not going to go and clock off and bust somebody in the mouth because I don't want to be blacklisted over here. But at that point, it frustrated me. But any other time, no.
Yeah. See, it's just something that you're gonna have to either get used to, or just gonna say, or not. And that's one of the things that can come between a couple over here. It's like, that's why I hardly ever go in any gatherings. When we're invited, I just tell her to go ahead because I know when I'm there, nobody's going to speak English. They're all going to speak around me, and I just feel uncomfortable. It's nothing against them. They're in the Philippines. They're supposed to speak their language. But it's just something as foreigners, and because 90% of my viewers are foreigners, I'm talking to you guys. I'm not saying this isn't a knock against Filipinos. I'm just letting you know that you're going to have to get used to that. And it can be aggravating because every 5 minutes you say, well, what are they saying? What did she say? Is she saying anything against me? Because language, man, is very, very important. And they hit that switch and you can't understand nothing they're saying. And all of a sudden you're in the dark, man. You be like, oh man, what's going on? So
When
it's just,
she
that's
gets
just one
mad
of the
at
things.
me, she starts chirping and beside it. Hey, so can I put myself on the spot? Let me ask you. So Calvin asked a pretty hard question, and he asked, "Do you think your woman's really in love with you? And if so, why? Why do you feel that you're in love with me?"
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Why are you in love with her?
How did you ask?
No. I just said, is it love? That's all.
Yeah,
is it love?
Do you feel love for me? Is it love?
Of course. Why do I get married with you if I don't love you?
Yeah, is it anything else? You love me? You really feel it is love?
Yeah, of course. Why you laugh?
Yeah, well, a lot of women get married to us and it's not love. But I'm not doubting y'all's love. I think it's true. I don't know. I was just asking.
But yeah.
Well, not all. I said a lot. A lot of women marry us and they don't love us. Okay.
We're different. Even
Yeah.
we're girls, but we're different,
Yeah.
Right. I was just asking. I asked King B the same thing.
Yeah.
I said, hey, is it
look.
love, right? Because all 3 of y'all are like newlyweds, really. Even though they're not married, they're new in the relationship, right? It's 8.5 weeks for you, King. Marcus is 1 month, and I think Scott is like what, a year or something.
Well, we've been together longer than that, but we got married in June, this past June.
Yeah.
Congratulations to you.
Yes, kind of.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah.
What's love got to do? Got to do with it.
All right, Tina.
Okay, guys, something's going on with my live stream, so I'm going to cut it off here. I'm going to let y'all have the last say before I get off here because my comments aren't working today. Nothing's working, only us. So I'm going to give you the last word, King. Whatever you want to say, give us something to chew on for the rest of the day.
Man, listen to Calvin for real. When he says,
No. Don't put that on me. I want something
listen,
from
I
you,
wish I
man.
would have
Don't put
listened
that
to
on
you.
me.
I wish I would have listened to your advice though, because what I did, I listened to a lot of it, but it,
No, I'm just
come
saying
over here.
about
Okay,
your
hold on.
experience.
I got you. Come over here with an open heart and an open mind, and like immerse yourself, man. Become one with the people. You know, like I love it here, man. The people are great. The kids love me in the barangay. They all ask for me when I'm not around. You know, of course, it helps. I probably buy them all ice cream and bread and everything. But you know, for us to come from America and for ice cream from the ice cream trucks, $3 to $5, I can buy 12 to 20 kids ice cream for $5, $4. You know, I don't know. I just love it here, and I think that I got a new lease on life, like you had, Calvin, coming here. You know,
Has
I was
anything
very
surprised you? What surprised you about the
the
Philippines?
the poverty, man. The poverty is real. You know, I seen kids with matted hair, you know, at the ferry port terminal, you know, and that's all I could do to, and I know they're begging or whatever, but I don't care, you know. If I see a little girl with matted hair, you know, look like she ain't eat, I'm feeding her. I was digging food out of my bag and feeding the little kid and handing her money that she handed to her dad or whatever, you know. I mean, the poverty is real, and and like Calvin said, we all send money. We might not want to admit to it, but yeah, it helps. Believe me, you know.
Yeah, Marcus, uh, what surprised you on your trip here?
What surprised me? Hmm. I came into it with an open mind, so I really didn't have any expectations. But yeah, nothing surprised me.
Yeah, so you're coming back in October. So what are you going to do different when you come back that you didn't do last time?
see more.
Yeah.
Basically, I don't have any expectations
Where
or
were
any
you based?
real
Where were
plan.
you based?
Hmm?
What was your base here when you came? Was it Cebu?
Yes. Then
Yeah.
San Carlos, when I stayed at your guest house, I was in
Yeah.
San Carlos for those few days. But other than that, yeah, it was Cebu.
Yeah. So what are you going to do? Give us something about, what to, if it's a new guy out there and you've already been over here once, you've already been with the girl, what can you can give the man some advice who has never been here before, believe it or not.
I would say go see the whale sharks. Don't come over here with that Western mentality. When you come over here, it's a totally different atmosphere, totally different vibe. When you see somebody
Yeah.
stare at you, don't think they mean mugging you.
Yeah. See, that's good stuff right there. Thank you. Give us something, Scott, real quick to.
Calvin, one of the things I appreciate about Almira is even though, like what Lee was saying, even though they don't have a lot, it just really touches my heart how um, she pumps my brakes when I want to go out and spin like crazy and stuff like that. She's the one saying, "Hold on a minute, stop." And I have no problem with that. I have no problem, in a sense, letting her take charge of that financial prowess, if you will, because I now notice, even though you would think they don't have a lot, they would want to. Her would want to go out and spin. That's not her. She's the one saying, "Hey, pump the brakes," because she understands how to stretch what little they have to last them a long time versus
Yep.
take advantage of having a lot to go further with. She just understands that. And I'll tell you what, that touches my heart. And that's one thing that I really appreciate her for.
Yeah, well, thank y'all so much for your time and all your input today. I really appreciate it, man, because I know King B, you on your vacation. I know Scott, you're over there working, and it's getting late in Chicago, Marcus. But thank y'all so much. Thank all my viewers for your super chat, super stickers, all your thumbs up, all your support of Sunshine Shoulders. Take care, everybody. I'll see y'all next time. I don't know what happened to my comment section. It stopped on me.